I'm curious if anyone else has experienced or heard anything like this. When I was about 15 years old, I was home alone at my dad's old trailer home. Overall, the day wasn't spooky whatsoever. But at night, when I had laid down to go to sleep, I very clearly started to hear a distant, heavy breathing coming from somewhere in the room. The breathing didn't sound like someone would have been awake. It sounded like a deep, slow breathing of someone who might be in a deep state of sleep. I turned all the lights on and immediately checked every room in my room and the rooms next to mine, in case the sound was coming from another room. Nothing, no one was there. The breathing seemed to stop when I got up and looked around. I had even crawled into bed for a couple minutes before it started up again. The weirdest thing about this is that it couldn't have been me overhearing neighbors due to the fact that the proximity of the sound was so close, it had to have been coming from inside the house. Eventually, I decided to just ignore it because I was exhausted, and the ghost seemed to be sleeping. Anyway, so what was he gonna do? So I'm curious, is this a common phenomenon when it comes to spirits? Or is this just one of those things everyone hears? Like hearing the sink running when it's not kind of thing. I'm new to this subreddit and I apologize in advance if there is something about involving religion. It was just relevant to the story. The story is from a few years ago. I'm from India, and we used to live in a joint family of 8 with my maternal grandparents. I've had a few experiences in this ancestral home where things go missing and appear after a couple of days, hearing family members call out my name when they actually didn't, a few instances of seeing shadows or other things move at the corner of my eyes. Moving on to the story. We had never had any dogs or pets due to my family's belief in Islam. We happened to get a puppy for a friend and due to unavoidable reasons had to keep the puppy at home for a night. The pup cried all night, but at around 2:30 a.m. my grandma called me and my uncle and asked us to keep the puppy upstairs, away from their room as it was a constant disturbance. We just decided to keep the puppy in my bathroom until morning, where the pup continued to cry. It was around 3 a.m. when the puppy finally stopped, and I was about to sleep, when suddenly I heard something that sounded like a pretty clear whisper in my ear. And then the puppy started crying loudly once again. This freaked me out, because when we were growing up, we were taught that dogs could see ghosts and spirits. I still don't know whether this was all a coincidence, or whether there is something more to it. Remember that one haunted house in the neighborhood? Well, that was my friend's house. And one summer day, we were at his house. We had just been eating some government peanut butter, and I remember how odd it tasted, with its little bowl of oil down in the pit of the butter. We started talking about his haunted house. That moment, all the sounds of the street AC and plumbing combined stopped in clarity, and I was aware of every little thing. The house felt different and uncomfortable. We both looked at the little rocking chair in his room, and I remember thinking the very words he quietly spoke. Why is the rocker moving sideways? We ran out of that house as fast as possible. At about 11 p.m. on December 23rd, at first there was a light tapping on the upstairs door. Then the railing started to creak, and I've heard other strange noises coming from the stairs. At 1:42 a.m. December 24th, I turned the light on and checked. The door was opened, and I walked to the middle floor where there was no one, not even the cat. The whole time, I got the feeling something was watching me. I came back downstairs and tried to block it out with music, but it started knocking and making loud noises. I have the room fairly lit. Christmas tree is on, and I occasionally see a dark flash fly across the room. It's currently 3:06 a.m., and I don't know what to do. I think my house might be haunted. I don't know. I've always noticed lots of paranormal things, but I didn't notice they were paranormal until recently. For example, when I was little, my cereal bowl fell off the table when nothing pushed it. My best friend's uncle used to live here, and apparently he died in my room. And I had something suspicious in the back room, which we tore down this summer. That back room was always colder than the rest of the house. There's a weird trap door in my closet that doesn't open as well. One day I woke up and heard someone say to me, "Who killed me?" So, what do you think? I searched all over Google, and it's just articles about ghost hauntings. So I apologize if this may be a redundant question. The question was, can ghosts make you have bad luck? Me and my fiance just bought a house and moved in recently, only 2 months ago. My fiance is sensitive to paranormal activities and sees spirits on a regular, but never anything with ill intention. So when we moved in here, she always spoke about seeing an older man in the corner, and as well as my son who sees something and will yell, "No, no, no, go away." Since moving in, we have had nothing but bad luck, and plants can't even stay alive in the house well. Things go missing randomly, and then we will find them in the weirdest places. We have jokingly spoken out loud saying that they are not welcome here and demanding that they leave and leave us alone. But it hasn't been successful yet. It seems to favor my fiance over me. Also, my mother-in-law has been staying with us, and she is known to dabble in spirits and paranormal. Per my fiance, she states that her mom has messed with portals and speaking to the other side in an unsafe manner, and our fear is that she has attachment to her, which is causing our issues. This may be just in my head. Our relationship has never had issues before until we started moving in, and we lived together prior to moving into this house. So it wasn't a cultural shock, as many would say. I'm sorry if I had left any crucial points out, but please feel free to ask any, and I will do my best to answer any question if it helps with a conclusion and a possible reason why things are going on, and can take the paranormal part of it out and work on just myself. I don't know. Edit. I want to reply to all, but I am at school today and will have more questions. Thank you all for listening.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross